An influential underworld kingpin desperately needs an emergency plasma replacement. An incredibly scarce type, shared by less than 1% of the global population. With his health failing rapidly, locating a matching donor is nearly impossible. His life depends. Medical staff warn the boss's wife, Thanopod, that continuing this procedure will completely drain the donor dry, causing certain death. Yet, Thanopod completely ignores the donor's life. Ultimately, the surgeons extract every single drop of fluid, pumping it directly into the kingpin. Once it concludes, the physician states that this fix is merely temporary since the operation buys him exactly 7 more years of life. If no other match appears, remaining perfectly composed, Thanopod vows to scour the planet to uncover anyone else holding this identical genetic trait. Acting instantly, the wife commands her top lieutenant to track down a target immediately. By the next morning, the scene shifts to Vietnam, where a young girl is discovered possessing the exact rare blood type they require. During the violent abduction, the syndicate ruthlessly executes both of her parents on the spot. Before they can pull the weeping child away, a strange vehicle abruptly blocks their path, revealing a rival hitman squad commanded by a lethal operative named Poe. Witnessing the assault, Poe steps in. He refuses to stand by while kids are harmed, demanding the child's release. The kidnappers refuse to yield, and a brutal shootout breaks out. Poe and his direct subordinates successfully slaughter the enemy mercenaries, though their leader manages to break away, fleeing into the darkness. Recognizing the growing danger, Poe retreats from the area, taking the orphan with him. Her destiny is now bound. Act 2. Training in Thailand and rising tension to an elite killer. Hours later, the failed lieutenant returns to Thanopod, apologizing heavily for losing the target. He reports that 3 highly skilled phantom combatants ambush them, vanishing completely without a traceable trail. Thanopod completely rejects his failure, demanding results to keep her husband breathing. She sets a strict 7-year deadline. If he fails to secure a proper donor, his entire family lineage will be erased. Meanwhile, Poe brings the traumatized girl back to his secure complex in Thailand, where he has secretly run his underground network for decades. The girl, named Lon, terrified of these new captors, fights back violently, expecting more torture. Her intense panic is finally calmed by Poe's young son, Pran. Being peers, he speaks softly, gradually breaking down her walls. Pran promises that they only intend to shelter her from the monsters hunting her down. Slowly, Lon drops her defense. For the first time since the massacre, her physical wounds are properly mended. Soon after, Poe's personal medic reports that the child carries a genetic holy grail, making her a target for powerful elites. Poe instantly realizes why the syndicate was hunting her so mercilessly in Vietnam. Consequently, he tasks Pran with guarding Lon's life at all costs, forbidding her from ever stepping beyond the perimeter gates, as public exposure would bring immediate catastrophe. Over the next several seasons, the two grow incredibly close. Though locked away from normal society inside the fortress, Lon finds true solace. She feels genuinely secure, realizing she has been given a second family. 5 full years pass, transforming them into capable young adults. Yet, Lon remains completely oblivious to the lethal black market assassinations her protectors commit. Concurrently, the hunt moves to India, where the enemy lieutenant aggressively screens populations. He cross-checks thousands of individuals across multiple borders without discovering a single match. Faced with dead ends, his patience shatters completely. In a fit of pure rage, he attacks his own tracker after another useless lead. Reporting back to Dubai, Thanopod alters the strategy. She commands him to drop the global search and return to Vietnam to hunt down Lon, convinced she is their only hope. Back at the base, Lon directly questions Pran about their confinement. Pran reiterates that hiding is the singular mechanism keeping her breathing. Curious about the constant wargaming and weapons handling around the property, Pran finally confesses the truth. They are all contract killers serving Poe. Fascinated rather than terrified, Lon immediately demands to be taught how to kill. Vengeance has become her entire identity. She desires the strength to hunt down her parents' murderers. Pran relents, instructing her to first memorize his forms before engaging in live blades. From that point forward, beneath the cover of darkness, Lon shadows his daytime movements, mastering martial arts in secret. One evening, she asks why he has shielded her with such intense devotion all this time. Pran softly admits his deep personal affection, alongside his sacred promise to Poe to guard her life with his own. The confession leaves Lon deeply flustered. Act 3. The club mission and the discovery. Harboring the exact same romantic feelings. The next evening, the entire inner circle gathers. Poe details a high-stakes hit scheduled for the following night. Because the target is surrounded by military-grade security, the entire active roster must deploy, leaving only Pran and Lon behind to watch the facility. Seizing the opportunity, Pran promises to break her out for a single night out in the city. Overjoyed, Lon meticulously selects her finest outfit, wanting to look breathtaking for her first real date. Meanwhile, Poe's team infiltrates a crowded nightclub to execute a dirty politician. Surrounded by a massive detail of bodyguards, Poe creates a diversion at the main entrance, pulling the security focus away, while his stealth team breaches the back exits, taking up positions near the VIP lounge. The strategy operates flawlessly. An operative slips an explosive device into a guard's coat, igniting absolute terror inside the venue. As predicted, the target flees straight toward the rear emergency doors, right into Poe's prearranged kill zone. A waiting marksman drops the official instantly. With the objective eliminated, the assassins exfiltrate into the night before emergency responders can lock down the block. Coincidentally, the enemy lieutenant is in Bangkok tracking leads, unaware that his target is steps away. Nearby, Lon and Pran are enjoying the vibrant neon streets, completely mesmerized by freedom. A sudden downpour forces them to seek shelter under an awning, directly outside a storefront owned by a syndicate informant. The enemy lieutenant is resting inside. Peering through the glass, he immediately recognizes Act 4, the ambush and Poe's last stand Lon's features. Spotting the jagged scar on her throat from their original struggle, his suspicions turn to absolute certainty. Realizing his decade-long search has ended, he tracks them quietly through the rain to map their location. The couple arrives at the base, entirely blind to the tale behind them. Discovering it is Poe's primary fortress, the lieutenant realizes a solo raid is suicidal. He retreats to mobilize a heavy assault force, allied with an aggressive local cartel led by a psychopath named Yamato. Buying their cooperation with endless cash, they build a massive siege team. The next day, Poe discovers the breakout and explodes with fury, physically confronting Pran for exposing the operation to exposure. Demanding answers, Pran forces Poe to reveal the truth regarding Lon's universally compatible plasma, a golden ticket every rich criminal would kill to possess. Reeling from the argument, Pran impulsively plans a late-night escape with Lon. As they pack their gear, Yamato's mercenary army breaches the exterior walls. Before Lon can open the door, a heavy explosive detonates, throwing the entire base into a frantic, fiery shootout. As rounds tear through concrete, Poe commands a retreat toward the reinforced fallout room, while rearguard shooters sacrifice themselves to delay the cartel line. Inside, Poe finds Pran bleeding out from a chest wound. Lacking medical equipment, he begs Lon to act as a direct lifeline. Lon hooks up the tubes without hesitation, stabilizing his vitals. Outside, Yamato executes their captured rearguard right at the door threshold, demanding total surrender. Recognizing that remaining cornered means death, Pran rallies the survivors, Act 5, the safe room transfusion and escape. to execute a desperate, violent counteroffensive. They flood the hallway with raw fuel, detonating a gas tank to rip through Yamato's front ranks. Poe orders them to run, while he stays behind to anchor the choke point alone. Poe dies holding the line, allowing the small group to escape the burning ruins. Days later, at a beach safe house, a guilt-ridden Lon tries to flee to stop the bloodshed, but Pran stops her, vowing to stand together forever. For months, the surviving veterans forge Lon into a lethal weapon. However, the enemy tracks a luxury car purchase straight to their coastal coordinates. Pran anticipated this, intentionally baiting the trap to finish the war on their own terms. As the strike team invades, an explosive car trap decimates Yamato's advance vanguard. A chaotic melee ensues. Lon successfully corners and terminates the original lieutenant, settling the blood debt. Pran simultaneously drops Yamato over a balcony rail. Believing they have won, they flee via car, but a surviving Yamato shoots Lon through the glass before finally expiring. Pulling over in a panic, Pran realizes he shares her unique blood type and hooks up a desperate roadside transfusion. He drains his own life force completely dry throughout the night to ensure her survival. Waking up fully healed the next morning, Lon finds Pran's cold, lifeless body resting beside her. She is left entirely alone in the world, surrounded by the tragic ghosts of those who loved her. The lesson here is simple. Never date a human health potion, or you'll end up completely out of lives.